Yo, it's bro Rob. I'm back out here. I'm out here. And so I'm just trying to give my perspective, right, on what's been going on in these YouTube streets that then kind of like I say disturb me a little bit. You know, um everybody is entitled to their opinion. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, but you are not entitled to your own facts. You are not entitled to your own facts. Peace, love. How you doing tonight, raining woman? Uh, I just don't see how our people during Black History Month can continue to tear down a legacy that you are benefiting from now. I got some slides that I'ma show. Um, because and this stems from listening and participating on Nyla's panel just a few days ago. In the chat, what was happening, people were talking about um, Martin Luther King was pushing for integration, which can be, interpreted a lot of different ways. But essentially, what the man was doing, right, what Martin Luther King was doing was pushing for equality. That's what he was pushing for. He wasn't pushing for integration. This is something that the white media was pushing because they knew that now I can't hold you in these certain communities. Peace, good brother DS1 Sheep Stay Sleep TV. Peace, brother Kenneth Nash. Thank y'all for joining me this evening. But to get back on Martin Luther King, man, the man's legacy, we have been nicking at it for quite some time. And if I could just give my perspective tonight, I'm going to just say this out loud. Please, if you can, every time you hear somebody say something about Dr. Martin Luther King, this is what I want you to do. I want you to, check them right away. Now, look, right, Dr. King is one of the most, even though he is well known, he is probably one of the most misunderstood figures in history. All right. So, real quick, right? Dr. King, right? Where was he talking? Where was he speaking? Where? Where was he speaking? Where was he saying these speeches and stuff like that? Right? In the places where the most racist people were, all through the South, all in Mississippi and in Alabama and Georgia, and then came up here to Chicago. Man, come on, man. That man put himself in harm's way. And then later on, we found out about COINTELPRO and about how J. Edgar Hoover had him in his sights. And so consider everything now. Somebody who sits over the FBI, one of the most powerful organizations and institutions in the world, right? Not just in this country, but in the world, right? It was designed as the CIA. The FBI was designed as the CIA for our local and national government, federal government, right? So that's what it was created for, right? But the head of the FBI had Martin Luther King in his sights. We got endless. We got endless proof that he was aiming for him, taking pictures of him, recording all his conversations. You know, it's even believed that some of those calls that was made to the King residence was from FBI agents as psychological warfare. And we don't have any concrete proof. You know, they could say that it was KKK members, right? But I'm willing to believe that if they attacked them in every other way, just to add some more psychological pain, yeah, why not have a couple of agents just call the house once an hour? I could imagine that happening, especially if you got some extra evidence on him. Was he sleeping around with his wife? Yes. And that's the last time I'm going to mention that, because I would hate for somebody to look all deep into my innermost secrets while I'm trying to do good, in the midst of me trying to do good. I would hate for somebody to do that to me. So I'm not gonna do that to this man. And then on top of that, the man is an ancestor now. How are you gonna speak ill of the dead? Damn. Hey man, hey, I can't lie to you, man. It pisses me off. It pisses me off when I think about it. When I think about it, it pisses me off. And look, right, you gotta look at it. After the Montgomery bus boycott, Dr. Martin Luther King could have went to Atlanta, opened him a mega million Baptist church, and retired from the civil rights movement. He was compelled to continue to go because he had children, and he was trying to create a world that they could thrive in. And so, for even if you got an opinion that's not favorable of Dr. Martin Luther King, put it in a book, have it peer reviewed before you get on YouTube and start spewing all that toxicity over a man who dedicated his life and gave his life. He knew the FBI was looking for him. They had threatened his life. They continued to threaten his life. He talked about it all the time. How serious he thought it, the threat of death all the time. You had to think about it. You have to think about it all the time, because they constantly threatening your life. And then here we are, 50, 60 years later, destroying his legacy by bringing up some things that don't make a person perfect. He never claimed to be Jesus. He just believed in him. He was a Baptist preacher. People forget that. He was a Baptist preacher. That's what he was. He was a preacher. And no, he wasn't perfect. He didn't walk on water and all of that. But he dedicated his life, and everybody should know at least that one speech, I have a dream. Pay attention to the beginning of the speech. The speech that part of the speech, they didn't teach you when you was in grammar school. He said they showed up to DC for their money, for their check. That was revolutionary. Go back and listen to the whole speech. He wasn't talking about integration. Mahalia Jackson, you hear her yell out, Martin, tell him about the dream. And then in the middle of the speech, he just freestyled to the dream. Man, look, man, you gotta study history. Yeah, he a hero of mine. Martin Luther King, a hero of mine. Them huge shoes to fill. Huge. And for anybody to have the unmitigated gall or the audacity to throw some dirt on his name. Look, right, I just want to show a couple of things real quick. You know, I am an educator, and so I want to throw a couple of things up. And these are just people that we, rarely do we talk about. Rarely are they talked about. But these just some slides that I had put together for my kids, because they heard the name, but they don't know what they did, right? So I'm about to start screen sharing real quick. Let me see here. And I just want to share a couple of my heroes with y'all. Let me see. A couple of my heroes with y'all. Yeah. And so the first person that I love to talk about is Fannie Lou Hamer, born October the 6th, 1917, in Montgomery, Mississippi. That's how they said, if you got any folks from Mississippi, that's how they said. People that's not from Mississippi, they call it Mississippi, right? But she was a civil rights activist, and she led all kind of voter registration drives all through Mississippi. I know you done heard people say it before. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Well, it's the lady that made that statement famous. And she was talking about making sure that our people got their liberation. Look, right? She was a victim of sterilization when she was a teen by the state of Mississippi when they had the eugenics movement going. Most people don't know that, but yeah, that's why she ain't have any kids. Very famous story about the Queen Mother Fannie Lou Hamer. During they was leaving a voter registration drive in Mississippi, and they got caught by the Klan. And they beat them. They beat her and the people that she was with. And just thinking about her right now. And she was in the hospital for about 2 weeks, laid up, hurt. I mean, it make me think about what type of man would beat a woman to the point where she had to lay up in the hospital for 2 weeks. What type of man? You have to be pretty sadistic to do that. But very, very famously, Fannie Lou Hamer, when she got out the bed, she had enough strength to get out the bed. She prayed and asked God to give her the ability to continue to do the work. They say, Fanny, hey, you gonna take it easy? You all right? Where you on your way to? Very sheepishly, very quietly, she said, I'm on my way to the next voter registration drive. They had her speak at the Democratic National Convention. And this was after Dr. King was assassinated, and a reporter asked her, you know, Fanny, do you ever worry about you being assassinated? She said, real quick and real sassy, If I'm shot dead, I will fall 5 feet 4, closer to freedom. I don't know if we have anybody that's dedicated to the cause like Fanny is now, but her energy, her spirit is definitely inspirational. Next gentleman I wanted to bring to the family tonight, his name is Arturo Alfonso Schomburg. He was born January 24th, 1874 in Puerto Rico. He was a historian and an educator, a writer, and an activist. He authored the book that very famously inspired John Henrik Clarke on his journey. The Negro Digs Up His Past. This book wasn't actually a book, but actually it was in a paper. It was an op-ed, and it stirred up a lot of controversy, and in doing that, he raised the awareness of the great contributions that Afro Latin Americans and African Americans had made to society at that time. And so, you know, he is the person that organized the writers from the Harlem Renaissance. Jesse Fossetta, Claude McKay, Azora Neale Hurston. They would all give credit to Arturo Schomburg. That is the library in Harlem of the Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture. It is named in his honor. So just wanted to make sure that I give honor to this brother tonight. Next person, my joint freezing. All right, there you go. Robert F. Williams. Robert Franklin Williams. Born February 26, 1925 in Monroe, North Carolina. He was an author and the president of the Monroe, North Carolina chapter of the NAACP, a civil rights leader, and he was also the founder of the Black Armed Guard, also known as the Deacons of Defense. Uh, he organized and taught families in North Carolina how to shoot rifles, and he organized it against the KKK raids that they were having. And he had, with his military experience, he had the black families and the residents to sandbag their house and get ready for them. And it was a riot, and they had, warded off the Ku Klux Klan that evening, and that's how he became wanted. And so they unjustly accused him of holding a white couple in his house. And he was wanted by the FBI. And because of that, and they wouldn't drop the charges, even though he knew that they wasn't for real, like they was trumped up charges, he decided to leave the country. And so that's where he founded Radio Free Dixie with the assistance of the Cuban president Fidel Castro. This is a very controversial figure if you were to ask, people who didn't know what he did and what he had to do in order to protect his families. The federal government wouldn't get involved. And Robert F. Williams, with his military background, luckily he had it. He protected a lot of those families, you know. And there go his book right there, Negroes with Guns. And then you see I got the other book, uh, the Honorable Robert F. Williams, The Teacher They Don't Want You to Know, his FBI photo right there. Like I said, these just some super basic slides that I use with my students, right? And then last but not least, the fiery Stokely Carmichael, aka Kwame Ture. He was born in Trinidad. He grew up in Harlem, you know. He popularized the term Black Power. You know, of course, people were. We can't exactly give him the credit, but when Dr. King was speaking, after Dr. King, Stokely Carmichael spoke and very famously popularized the term Black Power. He attended Howard, and he was the first president of the SNCC, the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee. Uh, Um, he definitely did some Pan African moves, um, and was very, very involved in the movement. He was arrested over 30 times for disturbing the peace, civil disobedience. How many of y'all will be able to go sit down for the cause? So many people have all these bad things to say, have all these bad things to say about people that didn't pave the way for you. You know, for people that didn't pave the way for you. And so with that, you know, I just wanted to quickly just throw my little 2 cents in, because I just feel like we got our people under a microscope when it come to flaws. But then when it's time to hold these white folks accountable for what they do, oh no. Oh no, we motherfucking quieter than a mouse pissing on cotton, boy. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And so look, man, I ain't want to make this stream extremely long, you know, and I just wanted to just say to anybody that's listening, you know, let's stop being so critical of each other. We have an open enemy. They declared war on you in the womb. Before you got here, they was at war with you. Man, I don't see why you wouldn't hold the person that got dirty water in Flint accountable. You won't talk about that, but you will talk about Dr. King, one of our great heroes. You won't hold a redlining that's happening in your community. You won't go and do the research and point that out. The economic inequality that's clearly in the city that you live, because it's not unique to Chicago. I'm not a fool. I know that. But I'm very familiar. Oh, I go and pick up a couple of different financial magazines and articles and stuff, because I want to see who the movers and shakers is here in Chicago. Who is the people that's giving out all the jobs? Where the hell you get all this money from, boy? People poor as hell here. Where you get that money from? And then I'm looking at how he doing it. Who you plug with? Yeah? Oh, okay. Is his business duplicatable? And then I bring that information back to the family. I am the spook that sat by the door. I am. Man, I'm listening for any information that a motherfucker slip up and tell in front of me. I'ma run back and tell it. Quick, quick. You know, look, man, hey, sheep, look, right? Let's say for instance, I open another window, right? And I'm a screen and I screen share it, right? Will the audio play because I'm online? Like because I'm online? Cause I ain't never tried to do that before. Man, it's something I want to show y'all. The former attorney general of Cook County. Man, look here, man. Her name is Anita Alvarez. Any of y'all ever heard of her? Anita Alvarez? Anita Alvarez. Anybody ever heard of her? If you'd heard of her, man, if you haven't heard of her, put a 1 in the chat. I just want to see. Anita Alvarez. All right, well, anyway, look, right? They called the Chicago Four. And that's why I made the title what it is. That's why I made the title what it is. Perception is stronger than reality. Right? The lady, and I'm just exposing what happened. And I can play the video, the audio from my phone, right? But the Chicago Four, look, right, this what happened. They got arrested. They got arrested and charged with the rape and murder of a young lady, right? The DNA evidence proved that these brothers was innocent. I want you to hear what this chick had to say about this DNA evidence. Oh my motherfucking God. Oh my motherfucking God. I was like, is this lady crazy? It can, hey, am I the only motherfucker that's hearing this? Am I crazy? Now, the reason why it's significant, right, is because the 3 out of the 4 just got a settlement for $25 million. And that's another reason why the city of Chicago can't pay their bills. Because we didn't pay so much in settlements so that it never get to the news where y'all won't hear about it. Right? We didn't pay so much in settlements that that's why we don't have no money. Like we didn't pay like close to $500 billion in the last, like I say, 8 years. You know what I'm saying? City, they'll go down there to City Hall. They'll show the video of the police officer shooting somebody in the back of the head and shit. And then all right, family get $112 million. All right, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Next order of business. On the real, on the real. That's literally how it go. That's why the city of Chicago ain't got that. Man, I wish I had the video. I wish I could find it, man. Yeah. But real one, you asking me to speak on Dr. Umar Johnson. Well, I wish that brother well. That's all I gotta say on that. Yeah. If you was looking for me to say something against the brother, oh well, yeah, you at the wrong channel. Cause that ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna happen over here. You know, I'm gonna give that brother every opportunity to correct himself if he done did something wrong. I ain't gonna send nothing but positive energy. And if that brother actually, I see some work happening, and he asks for some more donations, I'm gonna just be a fool or whatever you want to call me, and send him some more donations. You know what I'm saying? If he needs some volunteers over the summer to paint some shit, well, hell, I ain't never been to Delaware. You know, maybe I'll just go up there and help them paint some shit. You know, you know. So yeah, that's what I got to say about Dr. Umar Johnson. I wish that brother well. And if it's anything that I can do to try to help him, that's what I'm gonna do. Some people, they just get a kick. They get a kick out of tearing other people down. Let me tell you something. Here go Brother Rob philosophy, right? You can't make yourself look better trying to make somebody else look worse. Huh? You can't make yourself, you actually, to me, you actually make yourself a person that I wouldn't trust. If every damn time you get online, you talking about somebody else and tearing them down, you know, yeah, that's how I feel. Perception is stronger than reality. If you perceive that Dr. Umar is doing something crooked, every time it's an opportunity to see something crooked, you gonna see it. And then if you believe that that brother is doing something righteous, then hell, every time he make a move that seem righteous, you gonna see that, right? Now me, I'm a show and prove type of guy. You know what I'm saying? The man said he closed on the school. He about to open the school in a couple of months. We should see some work. And if we don't see no work, we should hear a reason why. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. Straight like that. You ain't gonna catch me on this motherfucker talking about nobody. If I got something to say, this what I'm gonna do. This what I'm gonna do. And anybody that been dealing with me on this YouTube shit know I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna call you offline, fam. Hey, dude, hey, is everything cool? I ain't gonna call you on no belligerent shit. Man, are we good? What's going on? What you see is what you get with me, man. That's what it is. That's what it is. But man, I can't find this little video. That's gonna be my next little video, and I'm gonna start putting more content out here. Cause I got plenty of shit to say. Plenty of shit to say. And sometimes I just feel like it's the same topic over and over. How no good black women is, how no good black men are, how the community needs to come together, how, get your ass out of here, man. Hey, it has become redundant. It has become redundant. At the end of the day, if you're not willing to do some work, look, the only thing you can possibly offer the community is some interesting dialogue. It might be interesting, but it's not going to change the price of rice. Now it's some people out here doing some work. It's some people out here doing some work. And my suggestion is that you find them and support them. You know what I'm saying? It's a time and a place for everything. I ain't always serious, you know. But man, everybody should agree that we living in some serious times. And serious times calls for serious people to do some serious thinking and then produce some serious solutions so that people can start working on them. I'm a grassroots guy. I'm a humble guy. I believe in our people. I love our sisters. To me, it ain't nothing wrong with our sisters. Are some of y'all a little too belligerent? Yeah, I say, but I mean, I know some guys that's belligerent. You know what I'm saying? Are some of the sisters toxic? Yeah, but I know some guys that's toxic. So I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's the way you perceive it. I did a build on this perception and how it affects our thoughts, emotions, and things of this nature. Uh, so, man, I suggest, very humbly, you go back and take a look at it. I used one of the 9 areas of human activity, Nelly Fuller. I used sex, and I show how they use sex in advertising, and how is they use different subliminal messages in the advertising and marketing. I say it in the chat all the time, and I'm wrapping up. I'm I say it in the chat all the time, right? Propaganda is a weapon. Propaganda is a weapon. Sun Tzu, in the Art of War, um, he puts forth the theory that in order to win in war, what you have to do is make your enemy not want to fight you. It's one thing to overwhelm him in battle, but in doing that, his son will seek revenge, and his son's son will seek revenge. But when the win-win, this is where it comes. When you take away his will to fight you, I want y'all to let that sink in. His will to fight you. Our will. It could be taken away by some negative narratives that are put out about some of our illustrious leaders in African American history. I brung up the name in Nyla's chat, Adam Clayton Powell. If you're not familiar with Adam Clayton Powell, man, very powerful brother from Harlem. And when he went to Congress, he made sure that he didn't forget his people and that he directed those resources to his people. And that's why Harlem thrived at the time when he was in Congress. So with that, I just say, my little tidbit with the people that maybe we not familiar with, you know, lost names in history, but definitely play a significant role, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. One more time, the Queen Mother, Fannie Lou Hamer, right? I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. The next one, our good brother, his name was Arturo Alfonso Schomburg. The Schomburg Library in Harlem, New York, that's who it is named after. His crowning achievement was organizing the writers of the Harlem Renaissance and putting forth the precedent to start collecting Black history artifacts and things of this nature. His contemporary, you would say, would be a J.A. Rogers. Um, the next one, his name, Robert Franklin Williams. A lot of people know him from Negroes with Guns, the Deacons of Defense. And you always welcome to go back and look up their names and everything, and then try to stump Brother Rob. All right, Brother Rob, you didn't bring out this, you didn't bring out that. I was just going through it briefly. And then last but not least, our good brother, Stokely Carmichael, later on in life changed his name to Kwame Ture, a very fiery brother, very powerful leader. If the FBI did not have him in their sights, it's no telling what else could have been done. Long live the spirit of all our ancestors. And I hope I edified the family tonight with this quick little live. All I'm asking one more time is that we continue to look for the greatness in one another and accentuate that. I'm going to accentuate the positive at all times. Anything I ever said or did to anybody out there, if you feel like I did it in malice towards you, right now, if you my sister, you my brother, man, hey, please forgive me, right? Because I ain't never did nothing to nobody intentionally, and I'm hoping that anything that would prevent us from working together in the future, that you let that go. Why? Because our babies need us. Our babies need us. Our babies need us. Our babies need to know who Harold Washington is. Our babies need to know who Elaine Brown is. Who is Angela Davis? Who is Marcus Garvey? Who are they? We need to know who these people are. Mary McLeod Bethune. We need to know. So with that, family, I just want to get out here real quick and drop my little perspective on what's been happening in these YouTube streets. And I'm hoping that everybody that listened to me tonight, that you, I thank you for coming. That's number one. Please tell people about the channel. I'm definitely about to start dropping a lot more content. And with that, I'm gonna sign off, man. Thank you so much. Later.